Hello everyone, welcome to Brenda's Brush Strokes and Bisque, painting live on Thursday, June 3rd at 7 p.m. Central Time. And we are doing our Fungus Among Us Bisque box, which we opened last week. So we had our instruction sheets, your inventory sheet, your flyer, your extra, which was the double-ended spoolie. We went through all that last week, and then we did a little bit of antiquing a pumpkin that Courtney had painted while we were painting our fairy box, finishing it up, because some of you had worked ahead and asked about that. So this is our Boris the gnome and our mushroom that we will be working on. So I'll put my instructions aside. Then we opened our bisque last week, so this is your bisque that you received in the box. And then a few of you did get other pieces of bisque. So we had our Morty, who's got the morel mushrooms. We have our Poppy, who's got dust all over him because I grabbed him with dirty hands. He's the sitting guy, so he could sit on a little block of wood or on an edge. And then we had Hannah, so some of you guys added those to your boxes, or maybe just added Hannah. But those were the extras for that Fungus Among Us box. So I think we will start with, let's start with our little fella, I guess, because he's got the most work in him. And we should be able to get caught up now to our June box that we are working on this week. So it looks like we got some of you guys joining us, so hello to everyone. So we have our number one is to paint his skin light brown, and you could paint it any color if you wanted. So we're actually going to paint these pieces out and then antique them and then dry brush them to bring back the highlight or the true color a little bit. So we wanted to do it a little different step, or if you don't like to do it that step, you can paint it black and dry brush it, so that works too. So we're not picky, you guys can do whatever you like. Paint them any colors you like too. So now my cap is leaking and I got paint all over my finger. I'm probably gonna need extra. So I didn't have that closed tight, so make sure your caps are closed when you're shaking up your paint, or you'll have paint all over your hand like I just did. So we'll give that a little shake, and we have our Duncan Light Brown OS467. Duncan Light Brown OS467, and now it doesn't want to come out of the bottle. Isn't that just ironic?
Do you need a new one?
No. So we'll poke a little hole in there. So we have our Duncan OS467 Light Brown. And I just used my ball stylus to poke a hole in there. There must have been a little piece of something caught in it. And now we want to paint out his face. So for painting, you want to use a nylon brush or a natural hair brush like a sable or a gold Taklon. I'm just digging in my brushes to see which size I want here. So I'm going to use probably our size 4, about a size 4 nylon brush. And you do want to dip your brush in water first. That conditions your bristles. And then just pat it dry. That will keep your paint from getting up into your ferrule and then drying and caking up inside the bristles. So I have our light brown OS467. Courtney, I don't know if you got that. So now we're just going to paint out his little face here in any skin areas. So this is a little different than what we've usually done, but it's just to show you that there are more than one ways to do everything. We're just going to paint him out here a little bit. So I just get a little bit of paint in my brush and then kind of run along the outline of the face. It's kind of like you're coloring in a coloring book, only it's 3-dimensional. And we're just going to kind of outline the face. He says it's sounds like her kind of painting. I don't think you'd like it. So we're just going to outline that, and you don't have to be exact because the next color, that be a darker color, it'll cover up if you do get kind of out of line. You do just want to brush it out so you don't have puddles and ridges. So when we do get to the antiquing and dry brushing, you have a nice smooth, even surface that you're dry brushing on. Otherwise it'll kind of dry brush your humps and your lumps, and then that'll be what's highlighted instead of the actual face. So you can see I'm just kind of got him all outlined. That's usually how I do it. I outline it, and now I'm going to go back and just kind of fill it in. Just make sure you brush that out so you wouldn't want to dab it and have puddles. And we'll go ahead and cover up his eyes because we'll paint those in later. That'll save time instead of outlining in them. So I hope everyone had a good week this week. I haven't even gotten to touch base with Cordy. I know she was invoicing, so I don't know, is everyone invoiced? Probably not, right?
Just like 3-ish people.
So Cordy says she's got about 3 people she needs to invoice yet. They probably have extras or something. She's got to touch base with you guys.
You have what they want. I just need to have them invoice.
She says she's telling me that I have what you guys want, but she's got to send you invoices yet and get them on there. So she's bubble wrapping and packing, and
tomorrow we're going
so tomorrow things will go in the mail, but then on Sunday, nothing's going. She'll be boxing tomorrow, but they won't go to the post office till Monday because we do have a wedding on Saturday. So we'll finish up on Sunday and Monday. But boxes are boxed up. She just has to print the address labels and attach them. So we are working on it, but we do have a wedding on Saturday. So I will be at the shop from 9 to noon, and then Mary, one of our wonderful ladies, will be babysitting the shop for me. So we will be open from 10 to 4, but Mary will be there from noon on without me. But she knows everything, and she'll be able to take care of anybody that's at the shop, so no concerns there. So I'm just painting out his ears now, so I just moved on to his next little flesh area, so I'm just getting all his little flesh areas. And this is just to show you guys that you don't have to paint it black to start out with. It's just another way of doing it. Once it's all painted out, we will antique it. And then that will give us our shading down in our crevices. And then we will just come back and dry brush our colors a little bit on top to bring back the true color so that they're not dulled from the black antiquing. But right now we're just painting out all our little flesh areas. Just another way of doing a project, just to show you that you don't have to start out black. So now we're going to go to his hands and get his little hands painted. And again, I'm just kind of outlining those. This technique isn't my preferred technique. I actually do like the dry brushing better. So it kind of depends what you like and what your end result is of what you're going to do. So that's fine that I got that all over the coat because the coat color will cover that up. I just want to make sure I'm getting all of his little flesh. And then I do go back and touch up because I don't want to see any little white spots, or we call those fleas because they're as pesky as fleas. They just keep coming back and forth back after you touch up. And now we're going to get his other little hand over here. So if you read the go on Clay Magic's site, a lot of their instructions are done this way, where a lot of their pieces are actually painted and then antiqued and then dry brushed.
I'm sorry, did you answer Norma's question?
So Cordy asked if I answered someone's question. Nope, I didn't answer anyone's questions yet. I'm painting and not actually looking at the screen, sorry. So Cordy will scan back and tell me what we got for questions.
Norma asked, why are you not putting a base coat?
Okay, so Norma's asking why are we not putting a base coat? Because we're doing a different technique where we're going to antique it after it's painted and then dry brush it. It's just to show you guys that this is just another way just another way to paint your pieces instead of base coating them completely and then dry brushing them. I do personally prefer the other technique, but I just want to show everyone that, hey, there's another way to do it, so you can paint it, antique it, and then go back and dry brush it just a little bit to kind of highlight it. It's just another way of doing things, just like baking a cake. You can buy a cake mix and bake it, or you can make it from scratch. I mean, there's just always more than one way to do it, just about everything. So I'm just making sure my light brown is covered really well and I'm not seeing through any of it and I have any spots. So now I have that done. So that was number 1. Oh, and I have to paint the mushroom that he's holding with ivory. So, and his beard and hair are white. Okay, and his shoes are green. So we're going to now paint the mushroom ivory. And I don't think I grabbed ivory out of my list here. So let me grab some ivory. So now I have ivory, OS 432. OS 432 is ivory. And we got to give that a good shake because that's been sitting for a while. So Leslie says, did you find a dress for the wedding? No dress. I got capris and a tank top because it's going to be 95.
Where did you find capris?
Well, that's a problem because they're too big. And I didn't get to Kohl's in Green Bay to see if they had smaller ones. So I guess I'll be wearing the 2 big ones.
I can't find capris anywhere.
Kohl's had some. I just needed the size smaller. Okay, come on.
I was gonna wear a dress, but it's just too hot.
Well, a dress should be, if you're going to wear a dress, dress should be good.
Material's heavy.
Oh, well, what's going on with my ivory here? You must have summer dresses from Texas.
That don't fit.
Oh, she says they don't fit. Well, apparently I got this baby clogged up too.
Neighbors with fancy cars.
Okay, pretty sure that's not enough. So I have to take. Oh my goodness, this is being miserable. The top don't want to come off. So there's apparently a little clog in here, so we're gonna get the clog out, and then we'll be good to go. We haven't used ivory much, so it's been sitting. So Sue says, who's getting married? My sister's stepson's getting married. So we have our ivory, and it's all the way up in Merrill. So it's an 1.5-hour drive one way. Courtney says it's 2 for her. So I got paint all over that one. Okay, so now we have our ivory, which again was OS 432 ivory. And I washed out my brush, and now I'm going to paint ivory on our mushroom here. And now I do need to be careful when I'm lining my ivory up to my ear. And I want to get it right where the ear and the mushroom meet. I don't want to overlap one onto the other. You can always go back and touch up the light brown if you get too much ivory on your light brown. But I don't want it going up over the ear. So I was a little more careful there. And we'll come down here by the hand and come along the beard. It's okay if we get it on the beard because we'll be lining out the beard next. So let's see, what else do we have for questions? Angela says she never got it. Are you taking care of her, Courtney?
I sent her a message.
Okay, she sent you a message,
I
Angela.
verify her email. Make sure I have the right email address.
So you can still buy our June box. I poured extra ones again this morning. We're kind of limited on the extra pieces though, because we only had 1 set of those molds, but I will
more going forward.
I will let them dry, and then you would be able to add them to your July box, because then I'll start pouring them again. We're probably going to have to get 2 sets of the extra pieces because you guys seem to really like that, so instead of the 1 set, we'll probably be getting 2 sets going forward, or more if we need to. Christmas in July, we were talking this morning for a minute. We think we're going to, for the extras, I think we'll do like Christmas things because it's Christmas in July, so it'll probably be, I don't think you guys know like about the truck toppers. We got all the truck toppers, and there's quite a bit of Christmas truck toppers. Like there's the snowman with the Christmas tree. There's the dog with the Christmas tree. I think there's gnomes, Christmas gnomes, and then we'll look and try to add a few more pieces too that'll fit in the box. I'm just brushing out my ivory, getting my little not pumpkin, my mushroom stem all done here in ivory. Let's see, I called and checked on our slip and our July molds, and they're still behind, but they do have our July molds made, so they're actually going to ship part of our shipment, and then we'll have to get a second shipment when the rest is done, so that kind of threw a wrench into things a little bit too.
I don't know what you ordered for extras.
Huh?
What did you order for extras?
Extras, we got those done as inserts for the baskets. Okay. Remember, there was like 12 of those, that big, eagle. The big eagle. A couple parts for a couple molds that we have the main part, but we don't have the arms or the ears. So I guess there's a shortage of truck drivers, so that's another problem on top of chain supply issues. We still haven't been able to order the some of our paints. Our Dunkin' medium blue is not available yet. The charcoal and the ash aren't available yet. It's just a struggle getting stuff. So I'm just painting out my little mushroom here, all in ivory. Wherever my light brown got onto my mushroom, I have to go back and give it that a second coat, because we don't want to see that coming through. And then you don't want any white coming through your piece. You want to go back and give anything a second coat if it needs it. So we are having really hot and humid weather here for the 2021. It was quite humid today, and the temperature's not too bad right now, because Courtney, it looks like we had a little bit of a rain here, but
I had the house closed up all day until it started raining.
It was really humid at the classroom today, and the temperature is supposed to get up to the 90s, 95 on Saturday, so it'll be a hot wedding. And it's in a barn, so I don't know if there's air conditioning or not.
That's a negative.
Cordy says that's a negative. Yeah, I kind of figured that.
There's barn fans.
Barn fans in the barn, huh? Yeah. Well, at least we don't have to milk cows. Yeah. So I'm just getting a extra layer on here where I can see through my ivory. And I normally would have made a ceramic gift, but I actually didn't even do that. So I guess I'll be giving money this time.
They're getting cash. You think that time to go get clothes, then that's a gift.
Okay, so we got our ivory on our mushroom. And next will be his beard and hair in white. So I'm going to wash out my brush again. My goodness, it's quite the night. Now I just put my finger in the paint.
Oh, your phone remote.
And now we have white, which is our OS 431 white. OS 431 white. And we'll give that a good shake. And we'll get a little bit of white for his beard and hair. And I'm just using the same brush, nylon brush. I'm washing it out each time. And we will kind of line out our hands and our coat here. So this is just to show you guys, it's just another way to do things. One of our ladies at the shops, at the classroom, this is pretty much how she does most of her things. She doesn't like to dry brush, so she does a lot of antiquing. And the antiquing will put the shading in the crevices just like the black base coating does. But the dry brushing kind of gives it more, you get more layers of shading, I guess I would say. but this works too. So that's why we're doing it this way. And then I do have your June pieces to show you at the end tonight when we're done. The snail and the turtle, and then the extra pieces, which we are full on to add this month, but if you wanted to add them next month, you would just send Courtney a message and we'll take care of it. Let's see what else is going on. We worked in the gardens there a little bit. Tried to decorate the front step a little bit. Now the wind has my flag banner kind of flipped up over the top, so I'm going to have to take a stick and flip it back down. I don't know, maybe put a piece of wire to keep it from flipping. It was really windy on Monday.
Put staple on it.
No, that's all tin. I don't know what you'd staple it to.
We're not stapling it.
So I think I'll have to run a piece of wire from one side to the other.
That's Gorilla tape.
So I'm just painting his little beard here all in white. And then we'll do his hair as well. Just kind of running along his little face here. And you want to go right where the beard starts and the face, or the beard stops and the face starts. You don't want to have a lot of white up on his face because you'll be able to see that it's up on the face and it won't look right. Let's see, Courtney's working on the box. I'm working on cleaning extras that are going in the boxes. I have one kiln that's down. The plunger isn't staying plunged so that it kicks on. Which I don't know if that's the switch is bad or the plunger is bad. Or there's this little itty bitty wire that's the size of a hair. Is rusted off, so I'm thinking that's probably the problem, but I don't know where it's supposed to be attached to. So I printed out the manual here at Courtney's. She just did that for me. So I'll probably have to put that off until next week. I was hoping it would be a quick fix, but it's not. It's nice to be able to fire at the classroom and not drag all that stuff home. Let's see, a couple of ladies are working on Christmas already. Actually, more than a couple of them.
A lot of people are working on gifts.
Yep, they're working on gifts. They're making Christmas trees. They're making nativity sets. They're making vases with cascade on it that makes the glaze run. Let's see. Yeah, they're gifts though. So they are working on Christmas stuff already, believe it or not. I poured 4 different nativity scene sets, and I have one more set to pour yet, the Byron set. I poured the Doc Holiday, the large Duncan, the little Duncan, and then the Riverside set. So, not a whole lot of new stuff this week at the shop, because I kind of have been conserving my slip, because I'm down to 2 batches and I wasn't sure when this was going to ship, so I kind of had to be careful with my slip and not pour too much extra stuff. We're just painting out our white on our beard, nothing fancy. We're just painting it so it's nice and smooth and everything's covered. If you want to dry brush your piece, go ahead and dry brush it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. This was just another technique to show you guys that this is another way to do it. And then I do have to go back around my little edges where my other colors are to make sure that we don't see through the undercolor. Let's see, I sprayed some weed killer in my yard this morning in the front yard before I get a ticket from the city. And Courtney's laughing. Because that's how bad it is. I tried pulling some out. There's little quacky things. The fish are lucky that they even get fed these days. I see there's quite a few babies in there from last year. I'm gonna have to rehome some of them things. So I'm just lining my white out again where I can see my other color through, like my light brown on a few spots here. I think my tree peonies were blooming in the back, but I only was back there long enough to feed the fish, so I didn't investigate it too much. And now we got to get his little eyebrows here, little bushy things. Let's see, they did it was kind of a project of the moment on Tuesday. I had 2 snails left over from our mosaic class, and I was just telling them that I'd like to try the metallic rub-ons on there, and then 2 of the ladies thought that's a great idea, so they actually did it, and they did it. I would have did it with silver, but they did copper, so they painted the bodies were done with the crystal glaze for the mosaic class, so then they painted the shells black, and then they both rubbed on copper metallic, and they turned out really cool. I think the silver would have been even better, but the copper turned out really cool, and I think Cordy posted a picture of that, so just a really quick, excuse me, like, I don't know, maybe like a 20-minute project, and they were all done, and they were really cool. So I think Cordy does have all your invoices out, so you guys just get those paid, and then
Except for my ladies they need to get with.
Except the ladies she needs to get with, she's telling me.
If you added something in the last 48 hours.
She says if you added something in the last 48 hours, she's got to touch base with you.
Yeah, and then there's just a few that had like a lot of extras that I had to touch base with.
And then if you had a lot of extras, she's got to touch base with you too.
Jackie, and Kim.
Clara, Jackie, Kim. So she'll be getting a hold of you guys. But otherwise, pay your invoices and we'll be shipping, packaging, and Friday and Sunday, and then shipping out on Monday. So they will be on their way.
Mariana says that she uses industrial vinegar for the weeds.
No, industrial vinegar for the weeds?
45% industrial vinegar does the job.
Where do you find the industrial vinegar? Well, probably from a restaurant supply, huh?
I didn't even know there's percentages on vinegar.
Oh yeah, that and alcohol has percentages, yep. Okay, so we got our hair done in the back, and I'm just going to come back around the front and get a little more on our, along the edge of our beard here, along his face. So this is probably a, back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, this is a lot of times, this is how projects were done. They were painted out like this and then antiqued. They didn't really dry brush so much after that, but we will be dry brushing to bring some of that true brightness back to our colors, so kind of a little extra step we'll be doing, but it'll make the pieces look, so this is what he's going to look like when we're done, but he's going to get ugly before he gets cute with the antiquing, so okay, so we have our hair all done here, and let's see, the next is his hair and beard, paint out white. His shoes, paint out medium green. So next is medium green. So we have our Duncan OS 463 medium green. Duncan OS 463 medium green. We'll definitely be caught up so we can get back on track with our next box, because this will go pretty quick with this guy. So now I'm just going to paint out his little shoes here with medium green. See what else is going on. We have decided on our August box, our October box. Our September box, I think we're changing. We were going to do a witch and a frog, but I think we're going to be adding that to from our Starlight from Evans instead of from Clay Magic, since we have to get a second pallet delivery, since they had to split that up so we could get our molds. So we have to figure that out. And then November and December we really don't have figured out. We kind of have, but not exact. We don't have the exact molds figured out. And then we're going to be ordering. Seems like there's so many shortages of things. We're going to try to get a few things ordered ahead here, as far as our cardboard and our boxes and the cellophane wrap and tape and all that kind of stuff, because it seems like even though COVID is getting better, like there's still a big shortage of things. So we kind of decided we need to order sooner than later. Already thinking about the August show and ceramic show down in Waukesha. We kind of got things we have to get at that, which will be nice, so we don't have to pay shipping, like on our clip lights and aerosol sealer and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully it's all available by then. I think the gloss sealer is available from Duncan, but I think Michael Harbridge mentioned last night that he's still waiting on the matte and the satin to get supply of that. So we have a little supply yet of that. So Courtney kind of had stocked us up on that. Kind of thought there was going to be a shortage of it, so we're okay with it for the shop. But we don't ship that because it can't go in the priority boxes, right? Because it can't go by air. So it has to go by ground, so that's why we don't ship it. And our boxes go by priority, so you guys get your tracking information and all that. So I'm just doing our medium green in on our little shoes here. So Courtney says Denise has a question. So what's our question?
If we spray the piece after we paint it, then try antiquing, would that might make it easier? Question mark. I don't know, tell me.
So we have a question: is can you spray your piece before antiquing? Will that make it easier? You can, but your antiquing may not stick as well. And then I'm not sure how well the dry brushing after that is going to work either. If we had the porcelain spray like we used to have, you definitely could. But with the new matte spray or the satin, I wouldn't, because I'd be afraid that the antiquing won't stick as well. It'll rub off really easy, so it'll be harder to get it to antique. Not that you can't, because you certainly can, but it might make it actually a little harder. But if we had the old porcelain spray that we used to be able to get, it would definitely work that way. But with the new matte and the satin, it might keep it from sticking as well and staying down in the crevices. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that. You could try it on a practice piece to see how it works for you. I mean, that's always an option if you're not sure with something, to try, just paint a little, like Courtney painted that little pumpkin last week quick while we were sitting. You could just paint a little pumpkin and seal it and then antique it and see if you like it. If you want a really light antiquing, it's probably going to work. I would just be worried a little bit though about that the dry brushing's not going to stick because it's kind of sealed. So I'm just kind of getting another layer of my medium green on here just because I can kind of see through in a few areas. And I just like with dry brushing, I start in one area and work my way around and then come back to the front. That way that previous area can dry. And then we get a nice coat on it. And again, you want to be brushing it out so you don't have any puddles and ridges. And you want to get your bottom so your bottom looks nice. That's always important too. So we have our green on there. So what is next? Paint his shirt out with gold. So again, I'm going to wash my little brush out. And now we're going to go with gold, and that was a new color this time. So we have OS 436 gold, Duncan OS 436 gold. And we will give that a shake. Actually a couple shakes. And we'll get a little bit of gold. So I'm just using the same brush always. You can actually change brushes if you want to go to more of a smaller detail brush. Like around his little beard and stuff. We may even do that. And we're going to just paint out his little shirt now with the gold. And then I think we'll actually be down to his hat and his legs. And we're just making it nice and smooth. Painting out any ridges or puddles. Painting right up to our beard. Now I did get a little puddle of light brown on there, so I can scratch that off with my fingernail, or if you have a piece of sandpaper, if you get a puddle like that, you can scratch that off. Because now that I scratched it off, you don't see it. So, but when I put the gold over it, you can still see it. So if you do get little droplets like that, you do want to try to scratch them off with your fingernail, or you could use the cleaning tool, or you could use a little piece of sandpaper. So now we kind of have a little dainty area here, and I'm going to try to go with my same brush, but if I need to go to a liner, I can grab a liner and use a liner. I'm resting my painting hand on my piece so I have a nice steady hand, and then I'm just running along the little outlines of his coat here, kind of just as though it was in a coloring book. But Cordy says we got some questions.
Are you putting 2 coats on him?
One of the questions is, are we putting 2 coats on him? Pretty much. You need the 2 coats mostly where the gold is overlapping another color. Like over here by his hands, I can see through the brown through it, so I will let that dry and then go back and add another coat to it. So you don't want to be able to see through your paint. You don't want to. So here I can see the white through my first layer of paint, so I'll go back and kind of add another little layer, but I'll actually go all the way around and then come back and do the second coat if I need to. And it may not all get the second coat, just where I can see white through it, or where I can see the overlapping color like the brown, or wherever you can see another color through it. So that the gold is going to cover up the ivory really well. We're not going to have to worry about that. But now even I have that one coat and I can kind of see through it there, but I'm just going to leave that and let it dry. And then I'll come back and touch that up on the second time around. So now I have to get around his little arm here, and the brown may come through the gold here. So then I may need to do that second coat when we come back around the second time. And you do want to be kind of neat with this, because when you antique it, it's just going to go in the crevices. And if you're really, like if you got gold up on your mushroom, it's going to show that the gold is up on the mushroom. So you kind of do want to line it out right where kind of the lines are. Just like just imagine if this was flat, this would be his shirt in the coloring book, and this would be the mushroom. So you want to kind of meet that line where the two meet. Like, I don't want to get all kinds of gold up on the mushroom, because then it's going to be on there and it's going to look sloppy. So just brushing it out good. Now see, as this is drying, you can still, like, this is more solid coverage of the gold, and here it's lighter, you can see through it. So you kind of do need 2 coats of the gold. We're going to go right along his little hairline here. And I'm usually resting my pinky on my piece so I can get a nice steady line going along those edges. Some people don't like to anchor that pinky down, so just do whatever works for you, but that's kind of what works the best for me when lining something out. And I need some more gold. So did everyone have a good Memorial weekend? Anybody do anything special? I guess the only thing I did was I painted the blue welcome sign that's by the front door now. It's red, white, and blue. Just kind of like those colors. Go with our flag banner, and I think we'll get a couple stars to put over one of the windows yet.
Did you answer Linda's question? Do you have to paint to cover everything, or will the dry brushing cover it up?
So we have a question, do you have to paint to cover everything, or will the dry brushing cover it up? I still like to have a nice coverage so that it's not blotchy when you're dry brushing. So like now this arm is dried, and you can see there's real light here, and it's real dark there, it's real light there. When I come back around, I'm going to do another layer so it's nice and even. I still like that nice even base coat, because really this is your base coat, it's just that it's in the different colors. And I am brushing right over his little belt, because I think that part I did when I dry brushed, I painted that part in. So I do like that nice even base coat, even though it's in the colors. That way when we get to dry brushing, it'll be easier to dry brush, because it'll be nice and even. Because when you're dry brushing, you'll end up with darker spots and lighter spots because your base coat isn't solid. So you kind of want to have that nice base coat, just like if you were base coating it black or brown. You still want that nice, that good starter coat, I guess you could say. Because it's really the base of your piece, and if it's not nice, then your piece is you're gonna struggle with it, because you're not gonna have nice even coverage. So we're just working our way right back around to the front here. Just, you can see he actually goes pretty quick. It's not too bad. And sometimes you got to turn him in different angles so you can get your brush wherever you need to get it. Run our gold along our beard and our hands here. And you just want that gold right where the hand and the coat meet. You don't want a whole lot on the hand, because it won't look right. It'll look like it's on the hand and it don't belong there. And you can always go back and touch up the hand or wherever or the beard, wherever you got the gold that you don't want it. So I need some more gold. So it's kind of like construction. If you're building a house, you want that good base. You want a good foundation for your house. So we want that good foundation that we're going to be dry brushing on eventually here. Keep turning him around so I can get him all the way here. And I'm using about a size 4 brush. It's not a real big brush, but it's not real small either. So now I gotta stand him on his end so I can line out where his shirt meets his little legs. So I usually like to line it out and then brush it out. So I kind of line it out and then brush. And we'll just work our way right around. Let's see, next week we are going to be working in my house, getting the pouring table into the garage, I think, on Thursday and Friday. Is that when you got figured out, Courtney?
What?
We're working in the garage Thursday and Friday?
Yes. I feel like I double committed to something now.
Uh-oh. Courtney thinks she's doing something else those days.
Should be fine. Maybe it's Saturday.
I don't know.
Saturday. He was supposed to have Saturday. I really need to write stuff down.
That way we can get the pouring table out of my dining room and the molds out of the living room. So that will be nice. Okay, so now I have basically one coat on there, but now when I come back and look, I can see white through here and there. So you really don't want that. You want a nice, even, solid coverage. So I am going to give him a second coat, and that goes on pretty quick. But we do want that nice base coat of even, solid coverage. Even though we're antiquing it, because when we get to dry brushing it, it's going to make the dry brushing nice and even as well. Otherwise you're going to have light spots and dark spots. And we just go back and do the same thing. Just line it out, brush it out. And the second coat goes on quicker. I don't know why, but it just seems to. So you can see his brown there is on the gold, so that's why we need that extra coat. We don't want that. We want that covered up so it's nice and even. See, they got sun drop days in Shawano this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yep. So our town, there's a business that makes a soda called Sundrop, and it used to only be in like northeastern Wisconsin, but it's gotten where it's all over. It's a lemony. Is it lemon lime, would you say, or not?
Yeah.
It's a soda that's made in our town, and they sponsor what's called Sundrop Days. It's the name of the soda. They have food vendors and crafters and music and stuff for the kids, and that's going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I actually haven't gone to it ever, but it's a couple years old and it's been growing, so I think they have like fish fry on Friday night and music and crafters on Saturday and kids games, and we're just working our way around, getting that nice second coat, because again, you can see how it's lighter and darker here and there, and we don't want that. We want a nice, even, solid coverage of our gold. And of any of the colors that we're doing, whether it's the green or the white. So we're working our way around here with our gold, just getting a nice even coverage. You can see how much nicer it looks when it's all even. And then you just brush it out really good so it's nice and flat. And just like that, we're back to the front. And we got to get underneath here. Let's see. So this purple brush that I'm using was actually in the box, and we can't get these anymore. So unfortunately, we are not able to sell these. So Courtney's switching out the brushes that I can use as we speak. We really like these brushes, and we had them in our boxes, but they're no longer made, so we can't sell them because we can't get them. So you guys will be getting painting brushes in your July through December boxes. You'll be getting a nylon painting brush. So you'll have a nice set of painting brushes by Christmas time. But these purple ones currently they're not made anymore, so we unfortunately can't get them anymore. And I'm sure Courtney will be pulling them out of my little container here.
Out of the room.
She just cut me off, even though I like them. So, you just need a nylon painting brush or a gold Taklon or the Sable, the natural hair brushes. If you like those are great. They're more expensive. But you will be getting nylon painting brushes in your June through December boxes. We had been doing dry brushes the last 2 years, so we switched to nylon brushes for this year. So we have that pretty much with a nice coat on here where I don't see white through anywheres. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to wash that out, and I suppose I have to hand it over because it's being confiscated, and she's got some new brushes here for me. So with that in mind, we can now go on to put, let's see, rust. We have his hat is orange, hot orange, and his legs are rust. So let's go with, I think we'll do the rust. No, we'll do the hot orange, I guess. You can send them for me to paint with at the classroom.
That's what's happening.
So we have OS 438 hot orange, OS 438 hot orange, and that's wrong. That's orange peel. So let's back up here a step. I got the wrong color. I need hot orange, so we got to start over. OS 439 hot orange. OS 439 hot orange. So Lisa says, why is it that all good things are discontinued? That is the honest to goodness truth, because I really like those brushes, but we can't get them, unfortunately. Courtney's getting the brushes that will be in the boxes so you guys can see what those look like. So we have our hot orange, and now I'm back to a new brush here. So this is just a it's a Crafter's Choice brand that we carry, and it's just a nylon painting brush. Again, I dipped in my water to condition it and patted it out on my paper towel, and now I can go to my hot orange, and that needs to go on his hat here. So we're just going to paint out his little hat and just kind of line it out around his little face, and this will take 2 coats too, probably. So she's got the brushes that we will be getting in your boxes starting in with our next box. What you got?
That's them, but I put it on the side of those.
So these are the brushes that will be coming in your boxes for starting in June. Starting in July, sorry. July through Christmas. We have flat and round, or they're all round?
If we want to do both, we have to go into next year.
Okay.
So we're starting with round.
Okay, so we're starting with round. So you guys will be getting these nice, it's a Royal Soft Grip. They have little gripper handles on them here. So this will be the nylon painting brushes you'll be getting in your boxes starting in July. Okay. Do you have extras if they want extras?
I'm gonna try to.
Courtney's gonna try to get extras if you want extras, but this will be your nice nylon painting brushes that will be coming. It's a better quality than the blue handled one.
I can order these, but the price points are like $7-ish.
Denise says she likes these. This is another brush she can get. It's the Royal Majestic brushes, but
they're like a step below the Silver Falcon.
So these are like $7 brushes, but if you guys want these, we can order these as well. And you could add those to your order. But these are Royal Majestic brushes. They're right up there in quality too. So it's a nice brush for painting. But these we can order if you guys let us know that you want them.
Like I think if we were to go any higher, you're in a Silver Falcon brush.
And these are the ones that will be coming in your boxes. This Royal Soft Grip brush. So that's what's coming in the boxes. So that's kind of what's coming for your extras. It's those clear-handled soft grippers.
But it's not the Clear Choice. Them are garbage.
The Crafter's Choice, you mean?
No, there's a Clear Choice
that
shouldn't even be made.
Oh, okay.
So they're not the Clear Choice.
She says they're not the Clear Choice. They're the Royal Soft Grip handles. They're nice brushes. They're better than the blue ones. Mm-hmm. But the blue ones are good too. So I'm just lining out my little face here and my little ears. We haven't been able to get Royals actually changing the quality of their dry brushes, and I think they were supposed to be available in July, but I haven't heard lately what the status is on that. I can ask Michael Harbridge when I pick up some order from him next week. We can maybe get an update on their dry brushes. So I'm just lining out around my little face and ears and hair. And this is a size 3 that I'm using, a 3 round. And you do want to be kind of neat about this, because what you see is what you're going to see even when we antique it. So you can hide a few little minor things, but you can't hide big things. So we're putting the hot orange here around everything, or around the head, I should say. So we do have Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque.com, where you can go and see some of the other things we have. I think we had to take the Bisque off because I wasn't able to keep up with the Bisque. We're trying to cater to our Bisque Boxers subscribers, and then our local people that are ordering Bisque, and it's been more than I can pour. But we have glitter. Courtney's got glitter on there. Brush on glitter. Brushes. Pin lights, all kinds of ceramic supply type things are on there. Paint is on there. What we can get in paint anyway.
And most of that stuff can ship for free.
And then if you want any of that stuff, she can add it to your invoice, and then we would cover the shipping on it. It would be shipping for free in your box, long as it fits. Like this is one of the brush on glitters. That's the popular one. It's just the kind of a rainbow iridescent one, but we do have a bunch of those. We have paints, we have brushes, brush on sealers. What else you got on there? The aerosol sealers are not on there because we don't ship those in the priority boxes. They can't go by air. Brush on sealer, just a lot of your ceramic supplies, like your Christmas tree lights and clip lights. I'm not sure if she's got the clip lights on there. We're getting a little low on those until we get to the show. But we should be okay if she has them on there.
Got my Harold's brush pad.
Harold's brush pads on there. There's quite a bit on there. So just that we had to take the Bisque off because I'm not able to keep up right now, which is a good thing too. Except it's not good for our ladies that were ordering online, but
maybe on a tier 4 room setup.
hope is once I get in the garage that I'm a little more efficient and I can pour more, and then have time to clean more. What?
There's not enough time.
Oh, she's laughing because there's not enough time. I'm just lining out. I tend to line out before I fill in, so I'm just lining everything out here, and then I'm going back and I'm going to fill it all in. And if you wanted, you could switch to a larger brush to fill in, but since I already have paint in my 3 and I'm not doing a really big project, it's just this little hat, I tend to just stay with the size I'm using and brush it out. And this is going to take 2 coats as well, because you can kind of see the brown through by the ears yet, so we're just brushing away here, getting him slowly but surely ready for antiquing. Let's see what else is going on.
Getting caught up.
Trying to get caught up. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Anywhere from messages to pouring to
A little behind on
everything.
messages.
Bernice does say she's a little behind on messages.
Topless box week.
It's usually a tougher week for everything when we're boxing, so now I do have my 1 coat on, so now when I look at him I can see that I actually have orange onto my mushroom here. You can see it comes down past where the 2 meet, so I would go back and touch that up. But first we're going to do our 2nd coat of hot orange on here. Brush that out.
Catherine says she uses separate set of brushes for like stroking coats.
Okay.
She doesn't like to mix.
Yep, that's a good idea to keep your brushes separate.
You like to keep this up for white too.
I especially like a separate set for white. Anytime I'm using white, it just keeps your white nice and pure that way. If you only paint white with the set that's for white, because it seems like you can always get a little bit of a hue from maybe your last color that was in it, no matter how much you clean them. So I do like that extra set for the white. A good cleaning is always good too, like your brush back and forth on your Harold's brush pad, and to use some say like the hair conditioner, to not use the Dawn soap, because the Dawn soap has a degreaser in it, and that takes the natural, especially if you have the sable natural hair brushes, and the hog hair bristle brushes, it takes the oil out of those brushes and dries those bristles up. So it's better to not use the Dawn or any kind of dish soap really that's got a degreaser in it. I like the Murphy's Oil soap to do a good cleaning every couple of months with the brushes. Just kind of massage that in there really well, and if you have a brush that got dried up, didn't get washed out, that works really well. If you massage that in there, it'll actually get that paint right out of it and bring it back to life. I've had old brushes that were dried for years, and I used that Murphy's Oil soap, and it brought them right back to life. And I do clean my brushes every few months with the Murphy's Oil soap, because it just really cleans them, and it gives them kind of a nice conditioning too. I'm just going along my little edge here and lining this back out just because I can see some the other colors through it. And just working my way back around. We'll have to look, when is the 4th of July? It's not on is it on a Thursday, or? Haven't even thought to look when the next holiday is.
No, you're fine. It's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday? Maybe we'll have to do a little giveaway or something though. We haven't done that in a while.
Well, I'm cleaning my basement, so we might have some giveaways with that.
Giveaways or sales?
Sales and giveaways.
So Courtney says she's cleaning shelves, so we might be doing a little giveaway and sales.
Like we might have a special Facebook Live at towards the end of June.
So maybe for the 4th, either the week before or the week after, we'll have a little...
I want to do it before the July box ships.
Oh, before the July box ships? Okay, so it'll be before the July box. Before the 4th of July. So probably the last week in June, that Thursday, we'll have a little... You going to do it after the painting or something?
We can do it after.
Probably a little live...
So the 24th of June?
Sale on the 24th of June. I know she's got a few of those purple brushes.
Just a
handful to get rid of since we can't get them.
And I have some Bisque that's already like wrapped.
And she's got some Bisque that's from the earlier boxes that are kind of sold out now because we don't have the extras and whatnot.
But they're already wrapped.
But they're already wrapped, so it'll be a few different things. Just kind of clean off the shelves and have a fresh start again. So I'm just making sure I can't see through my hot orange here anywheres. Got that nice base coat on it. So I'm going to wash out my brush, pat it dry, pat that water out of it, and next I should have did his belt, but I'll do that with a finer brush anyway. And then next is Rust. So Mr. Rust, where are you? So I have Doc Holliday DH28 Rust, or you can use your Duncan Rust. Oh, Lisa caught that about the sale. Good catch there. I might have to gangster some of those purple brushes. There's not a lot. So we're on to our DH28 Rust. And now we're going to paint his little britches down here, his little pants. I'm just going to line his little pants out here with our Rust. Between his shirt and then down by the shoes as well. So the 24th of June, mark your calendars for a little extra that things can be added to your kind of a clearance sale thing going on.
I want that at my house sale.
So we're just getting our Rust on here. So this is just another way to do something. We're just going to paint it out and then antique it. So just to show you guys it, just another way. So he's looking pretty good. What?
So I just had a message. For that June 24th sale, if you're a boxer, it could go in your July box.
So Courtney says about the sale, she just had a message. So if you are a Bisque boxer, whatever you get, if it fits in your box, we'll be able to ship it in your July box. And then we'll cover the shipping on it too.
You need a second box. It's just $9.
And if you need a second box, if you bought too much, then that second box shipping is just $9.99. And we have a lot of ladies that take advantage of that and message us for Bisque, and then I get it poured and cleaned and fired in time to go in their box or that box and another box. Cordy is working on a Bisque catalog, but there just isn't enough time to get everything done. So we're just getting our Rust here around our shoes now. And we did get molds moved out of the garage and to the storage unit, but they're not logged. But we kind of know where things are because we labeled the shelf that they came off of to where they're at now, so we can find. But we had one load that we didn't do that because we were kind of running out of time. So we need to spend a couple days in there getting that stuff logged and organized too. But first we have to get the stuff out of my living room and dining room because I've about had it with it. So let's see what else is going on. I don't know.
That's plenty.
Cordy says that's plenty. No mold hunting lately.
Cut you off if you did.
Cody says she'd cut me off if we did. I do have a lady that's down in by Chicago, and she was going mold hunting for us. Janelle was going to a gentleman that had dragons, and we don't have any dragons, and she likes dragons, so she knew he had dragons, so she was going to go get us some dragons this last weekend. And she's coming in June, so I'm waiting to see what she found for us, and then she wants a couple things that I have, so I'm going to pour those for her and kind of give her a thank you for doing that for us. Dragons have been hard to find up here. We've only have, I think, one vase has got a dragon on it. That's all I've found for dragons so far. So we're getting pickier with what we're getting because we're out of room, and you only can pour so much anyway, and we have plenty. I do want to get the Noel's large Christmas tree, actually brand new, because usually they're very worn when you get those, and we do have two that are very worn, so I think we're just gonna bite the bullet and get a new one at the show if we can afford it.
Meets the budget.
And then we just have a nice Christmas tree, and so there's just a few things we're looking for yet. We ordered that big eagle from Doc Holliday on our Starlight order. That was one thing I wanted yet, and
You say the word we.
well, the ladies at the shop wanted it.
I didn't know.
It's because you didn't want it. So what else? There's a naked lady that I would like mold. I'd like to find, but that'll be a 1 in a million thing. And a large bear mold yet. But otherwise, huh?
That one you poured is a good size.
No, the one in my entertainment center is the big one. That's the one I want. But that's a Mike's mold, and I don't think they make those anymore.
How tall is the other one?
It's probably 10 inches. Mine is probably 18 inches.
I might be able to ship him home.
Right.
That 10 incher.
Yeah, he's nice. Mine is the exact same one, but he's like 18 inches. Okay, so we have our rust on here. And that went on really nice. But I did get 2 coats on it. Now you can see I got a couple splatters on here where I splattered our, must have been that brown, so I'm going to scrape those off so I can get those covered up. And I'm going to wash that out. And now I do want to get my hot orange on our belt, so I'm going to go back and do that with a liner brush. And I have a 20-0 liner. And I'm just going to paint that out really quick here. How are we doing on time?
8:15.
8:15. We're probably at a really good stopping point, and I can do a little show and tell. And then I'll actually go back and touch up a few things. Because I see I have some ivory on his ear. His orange is down here a little bit, so I would go back and touch all those little things up. But you guys don't have to watch me do that. I'll do that before we start next week. So is anybody painting along tonight? Or do you guys all got your stuff already painted? And do you guys use your instructions that we send along? And are they helpful? I guess kind of let us know.
To see if anybody spots a difference on their stuff this month.
Courtney says she wants to see if anybody spots a difference on their stuff. What are you talking about? She must have done something. Courtney says she changed something. In the June box or what?
Yep.
Okay. Guess I'll have to check out the June box. Should I have seen it when I opened this box?
No.
Oh, okay. Because we're so actually next month will be our 2-year anniversary.
You can thank Julie Linton. I got the idea from her.
So Cordy apparently has some idea that she did what you guys' boxes for June. So I don't know what it is.
It's a very small, subtle change.
She says it's a small, subtle change. So if someone sees it,
Let us know.
post it in the Bisque box. If you notice what Courtney's change is, and when you get your box next week. And I have no idea what it is.
It's very subtle.
She says it's very subtle. So I guess we'll see. Alright, so I got him right around to his front here. So I am using a liner to do this. It's just a lot easier because it's just a little bitty area. Does Connie know what it is? Or does nobody know?
She should, because, like, if anybody would, she would.
Okay.
She touched everyone.
Okay, so I kind of know what it involves.
They all use the instructions.
Huh?
They use the instructions. Lots of comments that they use the instructions.
Oh, you guys use the instructions? Great. So then we know that it's worth taking the time to provide them. Okay, so I got him all lined out here. So if you're at this point, you'd want to go back and touch anything up. Like I have a little bit of yellow on his beard, a little bit of white on his hand. Anything that needs touching up or extra paint, you'd want to do that at this point before we antique it. And then we will start with antiquing it next week. And then I'll do a quick little show and tell here to show you guys what's in your June box. Your little pieces. Okay, so he's looking pretty good, but I would again go back and touch up anything on him. We don't do the face and any of that, but like I have ivory on his little ear here, so I'd go back and touch that up. Just any little thing like that. Like right here, I can see the white has come up on his face a little bit too far, so I go back and touch that up. Any of those little things like that. So we'll just do a little bit so you know that you just want to go back. Oh, I got in the wrong color there the way it looks. So I can see my little white from his little eyebrows are down on his skin, so you want to bring that back up a little bit. So any little thing like that you want to go back and touch up. You just want to have it nice. So it's right at that line where the two meet and not going on beyond it. Kind of the same over here with his little nose. So you just want to do all that nice little touch up so it looks really good. And I'll finish up the rest of it for next week. So even on the back here, like the white has come up a little too far on his ear. It doesn't look like it belongs there, so you want to go back and bring that line back down right to where they meet. So any little thing like that you want to do. Even where our yellow, I have my the gold has come down on the hand here just a little bit, and it's not much, it's just being really picky. And just line that out a little bit, just a little bit more so that the gold isn't down on the hand. And I probably got the same thing over here. But that'll just make your piece look a lot neater when it's all done. And the same with my ivory, it came up a little too far. But just that little, maybe 15 minutes of extra work is going to make your piece look a lot better. Here we got the gold on the hand from the shirt. But just make sure you go back and do that before we go to the antiquing. And I'm just doing this long as the light brown is on my thing and it's not wet, so we're gonna, or it's not dry, so I'm just gonna use it up and touch it up here quick. And That looks pretty good as far as the light brown. Even where the little white is here, it came down just a tad too far, like maybe a hair's width is all. But if you go back and touch that up, it makes it look really, really good. Okay, so I would do the rest of it. I'll do that before next week, and then we will start with number 2, which will be painting his eyes, and then we'll antique it. So there, and actually, I think we're going to skip painting the eyes, and we're going to, it'll work better if we do it after it's antiqued. But there is our little guy. He's probably like halfway done already. So I'm going to wash my brush out, and then just to show you guys our June box that we're working on, boxing and shipping. So for June, we have our cute little snail, and they got dirty clay on them because I grabbed them with dirty hands on my way. So I was cleaning greenware. And then we have our turtle. So these are the pieces in your June box that we're working on right now. Courtney's wrapping them and boxing them, and I did a lot of dots on them, but the dots are not hard. And if I try to bring them in really close, you can see that there's 2 colors in our dots. Here we have orange and yellow, and over here we have green and yellow, and we also have a black background. So there will be a dowel included in your box to do that, and we'll do that step by step. And then there's other little miscellaneous dots that I use the ball stylus, or if you don't have a ball stylus, you can use the ends of your brushes, but we did include ball stylus in one of your boxes last year. So the dots on the face, I actually did black first with the dowel, left that dry, and then come back with the line burst and the yellow. And I'll show you a little trick to getting that nice little swirl on there. And I came back with the solid orange and the solid yellow just to give it a variance. This guy, he has the orange and the green, and down here he has blue and purple. So hopefully you can see that really well. But they're marbled together. And same with his little face. I did the black dots first, and then came back with the orange or the yellow and the purple. And we'll do all that step by step. I was going to do spattering on these, but I thought there was enough dots. I didn't want to do too much spattering. They were painted out first, just like we are with our gnome, and then they were dry brushed. The heads were dry brushed. The turtle's shell was dry brushed a little bit. And then all the dots. This guy was painted orange, I think hot orange or orange peel, and then the lime burst. And then his head was dry brushed with some yellow, and the shell was dry brushed with yellow. And then all our dots. And I was going to do a mandala pattern, but I thought we would do some dot practice first before we jump into a mandala pattern. So we have lots of dots, and they're easy to do. It's very random. Some are big, some are small, so it's not going to be hard. They're nice and bright and colorful. And then some of you were able to get extra pieces. We had the worm, and we had the frog. And then we have the praying mantis, but I am at the max capacity to add these to the June box, but if you want them added to your July box, you can message Courtney and we can start a list for the July box. But these guys too, it's just a bunch of dots. This is swirled with orange and yellow. This is black dots with the yellow center, and then I just did a little squiggly line with the black and the orange. We got blue and turquoise on the back of him. But they're very fun and colorful, and we'll show you guys how to make two-tone dots that have got a swirly color in them. So these were the extras that some of you were able to get. So what Elizabeth says, what mold company? These are from Clay Magic. All 5 of them were from Clay Magic. So that was those extras. Again, this is the June box that we're shipping now, and you can go on brendasbrushstrokesandbisque.com if you want to still purchase a one-time box or subscribe, but that is our box for June that we're working on. And they will be in the mail on Monday, and you guys will get your tracking information, and hopefully in 2 weeks we're painting them. So that is your June box. And then we are back to our May box, is what we're working on now, which is our Boris the gnome and our mushroom. So this is what we worked on tonight. This is what we're headed for. So if you guys have any questions, you can let us know. Mimi's wondering, is it too late to add the worm? We're already at the max for June. But if you would like any of them added for in July, you can message Courtney and you can get on the list for July. I'll have to let the molds dry out a few days, but then I can start pouring again. And we can have a few more for July if you want those in your July box. But this is our Boris and our mushroom that we're working on now, which is our Fungus Among Us box. Carol says, are you going to put a pom-pom in the rear? You could do that. That's a good idea. When you go on Clay Magic's thing, they use them as, you can put a scrubby in them, but then you would need to put a sealer on the inside. You could glaze it first and refire it if you're able to do that. Or you could paint the brush on sealer in there, but they use them for scrubbies too. We just used them for decoration. I thought they'd be cute in pots in the house because house plants are in right now. So that's what we're just cute little fun little summery guys. But here is our June box that we'll work on next week. We'll start with antiquing him and show you guys how they look after that. Reached your limit on Facebook.
He sets the timer for himself on his tablet.
So we just had a message, but she says we're fine. So I think that's about it for this week. If you guys have any questions, send us a message. If you want to add anything to your box yet, that we cover the shipping, Courtney can add it. She can't edit invoices yet. Otherwise, I guess that's about it. And everybody have a great week and stay happy and healthy and enjoy our warm summer weather.
And tracking will go out Monday.
Tracking will come to you guys on Monday when we take the boxes to the post office. We do have a wedding Saturday, so we won't be boxing Saturday, but Courtney's boxing Friday, Sunday, and Monday, so they'll be there Monday. So otherwise, have a great week, you guys. I hope you're enjoying your boxes. Give us some thumbs up and likes if you do. If you have any suggestions, you can do that too, and you can even message us. But otherwise, have a great week, you guys, and thanks for joining us. Good night.